ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Okay, so like we discussed yesterday, so I'm going to read from Harinam Chintamani. So this will take us a few sessions. This is actually a very important book and it's very timely in connection with whatever we've been discussing. Okay, so yeah, so this is on Kindle Harinam Chintamani, chapter 1, introduction. On the shore of the ocean at Neelachala, in the sacred temple of Lord Jagannatha, resides the Supreme Lord in a wooden form known as Daru Brahma. The Lord descending in his worshipable form in order to save the living entities from their eternal bondage and to situate them in the transcendental realm, bestows material benefits to those who desire such things and bestows release from material attachment and the cycle of birth and death to the more advanced souls. So here, so this book has been is written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It is translated by His Holiness Bhanuswami Maharaj. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is here is saying, the Lord descending in his worshipable form in order to save the living entities from their eternal bondage and to situate them in transcendental realm. So he bestows material benefits to those who desire such things and spiritual benefits for those who desire such things or who are more advanced souls. So wanting material benefits is a lower platform. And those who are on the lower platform, still the Lord fulfills those because gradually they're going to come to the next platform. But this is a journey. So it might take someone few lifetimes, it may take others multiple lifetimes, etc. That depends on the desires of the individual jiva. But it's all Lord's mercy. In this sacred abode of the Lord resides the same Supreme Lord in the form of a sannyasi named Lord Chaitanya, the house of Kashi Mishra. So this is during the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was staying there in Jagannath Puri. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is talking about that time where the Lord resides. The same Supreme Lord was residing in the form of Lord Chaitanya. He has manifested himself in order to bestow benedictions upon mankind by teaching the practical process of religion, Yuga Dharma, for the age of Kali. In that place, like a desired tree yielding unlimited treasures, the Lord, surrounded by his devotees, distributed prema freely to all people. And there the Lord, taking great care, presented precise spiritual instructions for the benefit of all living entities. This he accomplished through the medium of his devotees, whom he made explain different aspects of devotional service while he sat and relished the devotional topics in great bliss. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself wrote only those 8 verses of Shikshastakam, but yeah, he gave oral instructions to Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, etc. But he also made his more, his devotees speak about some very important topics. And he sat and released the devotional topics. So through the mouth of Ramananda Rai, he taught the concept of rasa. Through the mouth of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he taught the principle of real liberation. And through the mouth of Rupa Goswami, he presented an intricate analysis of rasa. So these are not relevant for us right now. And through the mouth of Haridas Thakur, he taught the full glories of the holy name. So this is the topic of this book. One day after bathing in the ocean, the Lord met Haridas Thakur at the Siddha Bakula tree. So those who have gone to Mayapur would have gone to this place. Sorry, Jagannath Puri would have gone to this place. In a blissful mood and with a special purpose in mind, he inquired from Haridas how the living entities could become delivered from the material world most easily. So this was his question to Haridas Thakur, saying that how can living entities become delivered from material world very easily? His body shivering in ecstasy and tears pouring from his eyes, Haridasa grasped the Lord's lotus feet and then spoke in great humility. O Lord, your pastimes are difficult to understand. I am absolutely worthless. I have no education or knowledge. Your lotus feet are my only shelter. Unreasonably, you have asked this question to such an unqualified person. What good can come of this? O Lord, you are Krishna himself and have descended at this time in Navadvip Dham to deliver the living entities of Kali Yuga. My heart will be satisfied if you simply show your mercy and keep me under your lotus feet. So Haridas Thakur is saying, don't ask me this question. Don't give me this, you know, seva of having to respond to your questions. You just keep me at your lotus feet. That's enough. Please show your mercy like that. By your great mercy, though you are fully spiritual and inconceivable to the material eye and mind, you have descended and revealed your unlimited name, qualities, blissful form, pastimes in this material world, so that even lower rascals such as I can taste them. See, this is the mood of real humility. Haridas Thakur is not mincing words, saying, I'm not qualified at all. You're the spiritual sun, and I'm a particle of light from one of the rays. You're the sun, you have multiple rays. I'm just a particle from one of the rays. You're the Lord, and I'm your eternal servant. My greatest happiness is the nectar of serving your lotus feet, and my only hope resides in reciting the nectar of your name. Being such a low person, how do I know what to say, O Lord? Yet still, I must obey your order. Therefore, whatever you make me say, I will happily present that to you without worrying about its faults. And then he talks about various topics. First, he talks about the Lord. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the master of all that exists. He is completely independent, endowed with the free will to desire anything and have the desire fulfilled without effort, and with the free will to act as he desires. But though he is the exclusive independent consciousness without a second, inconceivably he is constantly in the association of his eternal energies, his attributes. This is just he's talking, some summary is being given here by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Krishna and his energies. Though the energies are distinct from Krishna, they must never be considered independent of Krishna. In fact, Krishna is within all of his energies. Therefore, the Vedas proclaim that Krishna and his energies are non-different. Krishna is the principal conscious entity, Vibhu, and his energies are his attributes, Vaibhava. Krishna is Vibhu, the omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent master. His energies are the root of all other existing phenomena. So everything is exists on the basis of energies. Yet even in the midst of unlimited, countless phenomena scattered throughout endless time, Krishna remains separate and independent in his original form. So Krishna is separate and independent in his original form, and he has his energies, and his energies are working for him, but they are not independent. They are under his instructions, under his orders. They work. The energies unfold as Vaibhava, the phenomena, which are the only medium of perceiving Vibhu. So this means that when you see something wonderful, great, which are, then we can understand that this Vaibhava is coming from the Vibhu. Vaibhava is attributes. They're coming from the Vibhu, from the principal conscious entity, Krishna. And the Vaibhava are of three types: spiritual, material, marginal, according to scriptural evidence. So three types of Vaibhava are attributes of Krishna's energies, which is Antaranga or Adhyatmika Shakti, spiritual energy, Bhautika Shakti, material energy, Tatastha Shakti, marginal energy. All these three are called Vaibhava, and they are coming from Vibhu, who is the principal conscious entity, Krishna. So all these Vaibhava or the energies, they are under his control, under his superintendence, under his direction. So you can stop me if you have any questions, because this language will be slightly different because it's Bhaktivinoda Thakur's writing. And every acharya has their own style of writing. The spiritual manifestation. Examples of the Chid Vaibhava or spiritual manifestation coming from Krishna's Chit Shakti. So Krishna is Chit Shakti, and from that comes Chit Vaibhava, or superior spiritual energy, or all of the Lord's spiritual abodes, such as the countless Vaikuntha planets, the countless names of the Lord, such as Govinda and Hari, the unlimited forms of the Lord, such as his 200 form holding the flute, his unlimited wonderful qualities, such as his giving of joy to his devotees, and his various transcendental activities, such as his Rasa Leela in Braja and his Sankirtana Leela in Navadvipa. All of these manifestations are non material, completely spiritual, even though they sometimes descend into the material world and are visible to mortal eyes. All of these elements intimately associated with the Lord are never separated from him, full of the Lord's infallible nature, are therefore glorified in the Vedas as Vishnu Pada. So all these things being discussed, Lord's spiritual abodes, his countless planets, his countless names, his countless forms, his countless wonderful qualities, his countless activities, they're all coming from Chit Shakti or superior spiritual energy. Mm. And they descend into the material world and are visible to mortal eyes whenever required as the Lord desires. And they're not independent. They're separated from the Lord, and they are never separated from the Lord in the sense they don't become independent. In the spiritual manifestation, there is never any taint of material contamination. The material world is composed of a mixture of ignorance, passion, and goodness, and even the goodness in the material world is always contaminated by ignorance and passion. But the spiritual manifestation, being untouched by any trace of passion or ignorance, creation or destruction, is called Shuddha Sattva or pure Sattva. The Lord as Govinda, Lord of Vaikuntha, Karanodakashai, Garbhodashai, Kshirodashai, Vishnu, is always Shuddha Sattva, completely pure. Whether in Goloka, Vaikuntha, in the causal ocean, or in the material world, the forms of the Lord always maintain their transcendental status and are thus called by the name Vishnu, denoting their fully transcendental nature. Though he enters by his various forms into the material world, the Lord remains the master of both the material energy and all other living beings. He always maintains a state of pure goodness, whereas the Devatas, under his control, such as Brahma Shiva, have a state of mixed goodness, Mishra Sattva, being touched with passion and ignorance. Because they have some service to do, so their Brahma is in touch with passion, Shiva is in touch with ignorance. So they have a state of mixed goodness. They have to do their service in this state of mixed goodness. So like we can understand sometimes, we might have to preach where there are a lot of passionate people. So we'll be in touch with passion. That doesn't mean that devotees who are preaching in some passionate environment, they also become passionate. No, because they're so spiritually strong that they're given such roles so that they can deal with passion and ignorance without necessarily getting affected by it. As the Lord, his names, forms, qualities, pastimes, and his abode are the transcendental manifestations of the Lord's spiritual energy, Chit Shakti, for his own pleasure. They're intrinsic to him and are therefore called as internal energy. They're intrinsic to him, meaning they are very dear to him, close to him, inside him, like that. Therefore called his internal energy. Then material manifestation on the opposite side of Viraja, the boundary separating the spiritual realm and the material realm, lies the Achit Vaibhava or non-spiritual manifestation. It's not acid Vaibhava, it is Achit Vaibhava, composed of 14 levels of existence, which is the material world. And because of these worlds are the product of Maya Devi, the place is called Devi Dhama. The world is composed of 5 gross material elements which constitute all the non-living material forms and the gross bodies of the living entities, and 3 subtle material elements which constitute the subtle material bodies. All 14 environments, upper systems composed of Bhur, Bhuva, Swara, Mahar, Jana, Tapa, Satya, and the lower systems, Atala, Sutala, and others are the Achit Vaibhava. Okay, so this is the material manifestation. Then there are Jivas, whereas the spiritual manifestation is the complete state of existence, and the Achit Vaibhava is its shadow. The Jiva Vaibhava is of the same spiritual nature as the Chit Vaibhava, but atomic in size. So Jivas are, the Atma is Adhyatmic, is spiritual, but it is small in size, very atomic. Being spiritual or Chit by nature, the Jivas also have the similar character of independence and free will, because spiritual energy has independence and free will. So the jivas also have independence and free will, but because they are infinitesimal, they are very small, they have some very small amount of independence and free will. But in number, they are unlimited, and their goal is unlimited bliss. So all these jivas, all of us, we are unlimited in number, and our goal is unlimited bliss, not limited bliss. Those jivas who have chosen Krishna for attaining that bliss remain as the associates of Krishna in a liberated state. So for attaining unlimited bliss, most jivas have chosen Krishna or Vishnu for attaining that bliss, and they remain as associates of the Supreme Lord in a liberated state. They don't become conditioned. And those who, considering only their own happiness, they're not thinking about the happiness of the Lord, they're considering their own happiness, harbor desire for the world of Achit or Maya, situated on the other side of Viraja, remain eternally turned from Krishna and receive a material body in Devi Dhamma. So all of us, for time immemorial, we have turned away from Krishna. And so we have received a material body in this Devi Dhamma. Being subjected to the cycle of action and reaction according to Papa and Punya, these bound jivas wander eternally in subtle and gross material bodies of one form or another. Sometimes they rise to the heavenly planet, sometimes they fall to hellish regions. And they go through birth and death. However, since the conditioned souls are also the manifestation of the Lord remains with the jivas wherever they are, bestowing to them what they desire while maintaining the eternal relationship of master and control, independent and dependent, giver and receiver. Always thinking of the ultimate welfare of the fallen jivas, the Lord mercifully bestows that happiness which the jivas are attempting to attain. So jivas want unlimited bliss. Now there are some who are very intelligent and they seek Krishna for this achieving this unlimited bliss. And they remain in Vaikuntha, in Goloka, in liberated state. And there are others who are foolish, who think that there are other ways to achieve this unlimited bliss and come to this material world. But the Lord also mercifully bestows that happiness also, which the devas are attempting to attain, though it's not going to be that unlimited bliss. But in their journey towards achieving that unlimited bliss, they will experience all this. So the first way for jivas to achieve happiness is through karma kanda, material pious activities. Thus, one who wants the temporary happiness of the material world attains that happiness easily by the mercy of the Lord. One has only to perform shubha karma or pious activities as directed in the scriptures, such as obedience to rules of varna and ashrama dharma, performance of ritual sacrifice, practice of yoga, offering of oblations in the fire, and observance of specified penance. So these are all called shubha karmas or karma khanda. They're all material, for even though Vishnu is acknowledged as the Lord of the sacrifice, the performers do not have spiritual intentions. So they do it for material intentions. So let me become happy, let me live a life without problems, etc., etc. Okay, so yeah, the performers do not have spiritual intentions. And moreover, the activities take shelter of material objects, material time, material place. The result of this sadhana is material, rising to a higher planet and enjoyment of material comforts. But there's no satisfaction of the jiva in these material activities. And therefore, that attempt is completely mistaken. Taking shelter of Shubha karmas, one achieves only the impermanent happiness of a higher material level. That's all. It's just higher material level of happiness. Only when this person, through the association of devotees, understands that he's actually the servant of Krishna, can he cross over the ocean of material illusion. So even those doing karma kanda, they will be in this continuous cycle of achieving material happiness. But only when they come in association of devotees can they understand, oh, no, this is temporary. And this point of good fortune is attained only through performance of devotional activities. So that their coming in association of devotees is attained only through performance of devotional activities. So we'll explain that soon. Then second way of achieving happiness in this material world, jivas are trying to go through Gnana Kanda, which is impersonal Brahman, merging into impersonal Brahman. Besides the jivas who seek material enjoyment and take shelter of Shubha Karma, there are other jivas who, being aware of the hopeless position of suffering of the jiva in any circumstance in the material world, with great effort, try to escape from the material world. So these people have bonam janmanam, right? First of all, they've been in a Shubha Karma doing this Karma Kanda for multiple lifetimes. Then they figured saying that no, there is no hope. Suffering is going to continue. We'll try to do some Punya Karma, but unknowingly we'll do Papa, so we'll keep suffering. There's no way to escape from, distress from this um, by taking this Karma Kanda route. So we have to escape from the material world. So these are called Gnanis. For these people, the Lord has given Gnanakanda, the path of culturing Brahman or impersonal realization. The Mayavadi philosophers use this knowledge to become liberated from matter and merge into Brahman. However, this situation of liberation is only the radiant light emanating from the Lord's body. We know that Brahma Jyoti is just the light coming from the body of the Lord. Though it is situated beyond the Viraja river or beyond the domain of Maya, even the demons that Vishnu kills can achieve this type of liberation. So demons who are killed by Vishnu also achieve Brahman. So why should people think that they are elevated and they are big nanis? They are also trying to achieve what demons achieve. Neither the karmis, the ones who are engaged in karma kanda, they're called karmis, nor the gnanis who are pursuing gnana kanda, they direct themselves towards Krishna. Neither of them direct themselves to Krishna, and thus they can never taste the spiritual happiness of engaging in Krishna's service. Now, if they remain as karmis and gnanis, then they cannot achieve the spiritual happiness. They will just keep doing some things and achieve some kind of, like yeah, some kind of happiness in this material world, be it through material happiness or through merging into Brahman. That merging into Brahman is also just like a drop of spiritual happiness, and pretty much they'll also come back to this material world because they're not satisfied there in Brahman. Now, this is one important thing, Bhakti Sukruti. There are three types of Sukruti or pious activities. Those yielding material happiness, which was discussed, Karma Kanda, that is yielding material happiness, that is one kind of Punya. Those yielding bliss of liberation, Gnana, and those yielding the bliss of service of the Lord, Bhakti. So there are three types of pious activities. So one can do activities to get material happiness, one can do activities to get bliss of liberation, and one can do activities in bliss of service to the Lord, which is Bhakti. This is called Bhakti Sukruti. Bhakti Sukruti consists of activities of devotional service which are done unconsciously or unknowingly. So this is otherwise called Agnata Sukruti. Unknowingly, Agnata, not knowingly, somebody has done some activities of bhakti. These are the most valuable types of Sukruti, not the Karma Sukruti or the Gnana Sukruti. They are not the most valuable because Karma Sukruti or Gnana, Karma Sukruti keeps on in this material world, go to heavenly planets, come down, etc. Gnana Sukruti takes them to Brahman, but still not full perfection. So only the Bhakti Sukruti is actually the most valuable, since they result in the attainment of association with devotees of the Lord. So if we have come into association of devotees of the Lord, that means that sometime in our past we have done some devotional service unknowingly. Sometime it could be last lifetime, it could be multiple lifetimes, based on whether is this our first life as a devotee, or if you have lived previously as a devotee, then we have done this Bhakti Sukruti, Agnata Sukruti sometime before. And so we came in some life, we came in association with devotees of the Lord. Through Bhakti Sukruti, the Jiva becomes endowed with Shraddha, faith, and then seeks out association with devotees. So as soon as somebody does some unknowing bhakti, so what is this unknowing bhakti? Like for example, some devotee is walking on the road, you look at him, you don't know who he is, you don't know what his position is, but he's carrying a huge load, so you just offer to help him, you give a helping hand. Or somebody is walking and you feel like, okay, let me just drop him to the bus stop or something, right? This is called Agnata Sukruti. You don't know what is the position of devotee, that serving a devotee is so important, etc., etc. You just somehow just do something which is connected with bhakti, and that results in faith. Immediately one is bestowed with faith, and that faith makes them seek out the association of devotees, and then they consciously cultivate devotional service, etc., etc. And in karma and gnana, there is indirect devotional service. The Lord is always eager for deliverance of karmis and gnanis. Therefore, He has given a way in which these materialistic people can gradually come to devotional service. The karmis, by following the rules of varnashrama, which aim at the satisfaction of Vishnu, and by taking the association of devotees, can mix devotional elements with their activities of karma. So this is called karma yoga. So these karmis, they have to follow the rules of varnashrama, and they might also mix some activity, some bhakti activities of bhakti, mix some devotional elements with their activities or karma. This type of activity may be called indirect or secondary devotional service. By performing such activities, the heart gradually becomes purified of material desires and becomes suitable for planting the seed of devotion. So please understand, this devotion is very, very different from punya, from the mindset to do punya, to do good activities. Like go and give some charity, go and open some, yeah, some school for the downtrodden. All this is punya. This has nothing to do with devotion. Devotion is also seen as a pious activity, but it's way beyond piety, mundane piety. And by mixing some devotional elements, for example, somebody is doing some social service, but then maybe they just mix some devotional elements. Maybe they'll keep a photo of Vishnu and offer agarbatti or something. They mix some devotional elements out of whatever be the reason, sentiment, knowledge, whatever it is. But they are still interested in karma. But because they're doing such devotional activities, their heart gradually becomes purified to the extent of how much devotional elements they've mixed in their bhakti. They'll gradually become purified of material desires and become suitable. Then the seed of devotion, bhakti lata bij, can be planted, whatever, sowed. Similarly, the gnani on the strength of bhakti sukruti and by the mercy of devotees may easily attain faith in the path of unalloyed devotional service. So for both this karma and gnana paths, actually to achieve any result, Shastra says they need to include some devotional elements at least. And if they want to achieve perfection, they have to come in touch with devotional devotees. The Lord considers all these jivas his servants. Everybody is his servants. Though they have given up the Lord in preference to the trifling fruits in the material world, the Lord first makes arrangements by which all the jivas can give up their desires for material enjoyment and liberation, and then bestows devotional service. So ahituki apratihata anyabhilashita shunyam gnana karmadi anavritam. So once the jiva becomes free from gnana and karma, then the Lord bestows devotional service. But the other, even though they might be primary going behind gnana and karma, by mixing some devotional elements, they become purified and then they become eligible to get the seed of bhakti, and then that Lord bestows devotional service to such jivas. That's why the Lord engages them on the indirect paths of karma and gnana to fulfill their desires. He simultaneously nourishes their faith in the path of bhakti. And this is mostly possible only if people are born in India, right? Because otherwise there is otherwise it's very, very slow process. Of course, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy now anywhere, any person anywhere in the world can come in touch with bhakti, right? But previously it used to be, which is why till the time of Yudhishthir Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, the whole world was under one regime of devotees. So everywhere there was devotion. But after that, for substantial number of years, 5,000 years in Kali Yuga, mostly other till Srila Prabhupada started his movement in the West. Mostly the other jivas in the other parts of the world, they didn't have this opportunity. But in India, people have had this opportunity forever. That's why birth in India is considered very, very precious. The success of this process depends on the mercy of the Lord. Without the mercy, the jivas could not become purified. Okay, now he's coming to the Kali Yuga Dharma. In Satyuga, the Lord purified the sages by the process of meditation and then bestowed to them pure devotional service. In Treta Yuga, the Lord arranged for purification through performance of sacrifices. And in Dwapar Yuga, system of temple worship. But seeing the pitiful state of the jivas in Kali Yuga, the Lord gave up hope in the processes of gnana, karma, and yoga. In Kali Yuga, the jivas are afflicted by short lifespan, many diseases, decreased intelligence, decreased strength. The rules of Varna and Ashrama, analytical study, yoga, gnana, and other processes of secondary indirect devotional service are not sufficiently powerful to deliver the living entities in Kali Yuga. Karma and Gnana as indirect paths to bhakti become crowded with obstacles and are no longer a practical method for advancement in Kali Yuga. The path of Gnana depends on association with devotees in order to turn it towards bhakti. And the path of karma depends on activity performed without desire. This is Nishkama karma, which is offered to the Lord. Then it becomes karma yoga in order to turn it towards bhakti. So jnanis have to come in association with devotees in order to turn towards bhakti. Karmis, they can, if they start doing karma yoga or nishkama karma and you karma yoga, nishkama karma is working without desire, then they will start offering the results to the Lord. Then they can turn towards bhakti. Of course, if karmis also come in touch with devotees, then they'll very fast turn towards bhakti. These processes have been corrupted in Kali Yuga because instead of devotees, one finds impostors, and instead of selfless activity for purification of the heart, one finds greed for material enjoyment predominant. Anyway, so the no good effect is produced. So the difficulty is due to the essential difference between the paths of karma and gnana and the spiritual and Krishna prema. Practicing these indirect paths only brings more difficulties to the life of the living entities in the age of Kali. So the direct method of delivering. The Lord, thinking of the welfare of the jivas in Kali Yuga, has thus descended along with his name. The Lord has descended and taught the Yuga Dharma of Nama Sankirtana, the direct path for attainment of love of God, Krishna Prema. In Kali Yuga, the living entities need only remember the Lord's name and chant the Lord's name. The method or means is the holy name. The goal is Prema. At the stage of perfection, the holy name is not given up but chanted all the more, since it is intrinsic to the activities in Prema. So the process and the goal, everything is the same. Sadhana and sadhya, both are chanting the holy name. And in the stage of perfection, this chanting is done all the more because it is very intrinsic to the activities in prema. Simple. I mean, if you love somebody, you will call their name. So it's intrinsic. The name is not different from the Lord. It is a very embodiment of prema. Thus, there is no conflict of interest between the means and the goal. Means is also chanting, goal is also chanting. Through the holy name, the jiva can directly reach the desired goal of life, Krishna Prema. By the mercy of the Lord, the jivas can easily be delivered in the age of Kali. In contrast, paths of karma and gnana are not the direct means of attaining the goal, the mercy of Krishna or Krishna Prema. For when they approach near to the goal, by their very nature, they disappear. The sadhana of the holy name is not like this, for it is not different from the Lord. Thus, at the stage of attainment of the goal, the name which was the means of sadhana remains as the goal itself. So, one can understand this truth by great fortune alone. Haridas concluded, I am just fallen, low person attached to the material world. He is just saying, like us. Being an utter fool, I did not take to the chanting of your name. He is chanting 22 hours a day. He's saying, I did not take to the chanting of your name. Tears flowing in streams from his eyes, Haridas Thakur, incarnation Lord Brahma, sighed heavily and fell at the Lord's lotus feet. The holy name, the touchstone which yields all desires, which yields Krishna Prema, becomes the life and soul of that person who develops exclusive taste for the Lord's service, and Lord's servant. So very, very important last line. The holy name becomes the life and soul of that person who develops exclusive taste for the Lord's service, and Lord's servants. This is also very important to note that we have to develop exclusive taste for Lord's devotees, Lord's servants. I've been talking about this repeatedly. Don't treat devotees with respect. I don't know, somehow it just doesn't register in everybody's system, right? And we come down to mundane platform, we criticize people, we shout, we criticize devotees, we shout at devotees, we think that we are, some foolishness, just mere foolishness. Like yesterday also we saw, it's only Vaishnava aparad which can keep us away from Krishna, from perfection. It's only Vaishnava aparads. So if you don't know how to deal with devotees, it's most dangerous. I mean, it's safer not to even do bhakti if you don't know how to deal with devotees. Safer not to do bhakti because by doing that, we will go to hell, right? Or we might suffer for lifetimes. by not knowing how to deal with devotees. Um, and yeah, so we have to be very, very careful. So we have to develop exclusive taste to serve to serve the Lord's servants, right? And taste for the Lord itself, Himself, right? So we can just, this is just overview about how critical Harinama is in this Kali Yuga, because no process of karma and gnana can give us result. The only process is chanting of the holy name. And who will develop the taste for chanting the holy name? Or the holy name becomes the life and soul of a person who has developed exclusive taste for the Lord service and Lord servants. And again, none of these are meaning you cannot have one without the other. Somebody cannot say I have exclusive taste for the Lord and not engage in Lord service. Or somebody cannot say I have exclusive taste for the Lord but not for his servants. Not possible. All of this is together. Bhakta, Bhakti, Bhagavan. These are three topics. Bhagavan, Bhakti, Bhakta. All of these are one single entity. Literally, we can't separate them out. Right? So how much ever, whatever material qualification we might have, etc. If we cannot bring these three things in our life, then whatever we have is useless. We're not going to achieve Krishna. Okay, so I think already 9 o'clock. Should I continue another 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Or should I stop?
You can continue.
Nature of the holy name. Maybe one or two more pages I will just read. Qualification of Haridas. In the ecstasy of love, Haridas Thakur wept. And in ecstasy, Lord Gauranga embraced him. The Lord said, where else is there such a devotee as you, Haridasa? You're fully conversant with all spiritual topics and are at all times transcendental to material desire. Taking birth in a low family, you have shown the world that Krishna is not obtained by wealth, reputation, family, or social refinement, and that any person who has deep faith in the process of unalloyed worship of Krishna is more exalted than the Devatas. You know that the holy name is the highest truth. This is evident in your personal activities. You are the ideal example, Acharya, by your performance of devotional activities, Achara, and you're skilled and learned in teaching these activities to others, Prachara. So we should have Achar and Prachar. Whatever we practice, we should preach. That is an Acharya. Therefore, Haridasa, you are fit to describe the unlimited glories of the name. I become blissful when I hear those glories from your lips. Three types of Vaishnavas who accept the holy name. Whoever says the holy name purely even once, see, purely even once, is considered a Vaishnava. The householder should be very attentive to respect such a person. Householder means any person who is not a devotee. Of course, a devotee has to respect everybody, but specifically here is being said that a householder, not that he has to respect some sannyasis or no. If somebody has chanted the holy name purely even once, he has to be considered a Vaishnava and should be very attentive. Householder should be very attentive to respect such a person. Very important. We have to be attentive, not mindlessly. With full attention, we have to respect such a person. But one who is constantly chanting the holy name of Krishna purely is even a better Vaishnava, constantly chanting. So this is at least once chanted purely. One who is constantly chanting the holy name purely is even a better Vaishnava, being endowed with all good qualities. And the person who can influence another person to take up the chanting of the name with pure devotion is the highest Vaishnava. So please note pure devotion everywhere. So one who has chanted the name of Krishna even once purely, he is a Vaishnava. One who constantly chants the name of Krishna purely, he is a better Vaishnava. And one who can influence another person to chant the name of Krishna purely is the highest Vaishnava. So he's asking, please describe to me, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking, please describe to me the details of how the living entities take up this wonderful name of Krishna. Holding his hands in reverence with choked up throat and tears in his eyes, Haridas began to speak. So he's going to start speaking about the Nama. The name of Krishna is Chintamani. Nama Chintamani. Krishna's. Nama Chintamani Krishna's. Krishna's name is Chintamani, which can heal all that one may desire. It is Chintamani, it's something which can give anything one desires. Thus, to the materialist, the name gives dharma, kama, artha, and moksha. And to the unmotivated devotees, it gives pure, unalloyed love of Krishna. So, somebody chants Krishna's name and wants some material stuff, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The name can bestow the result because it is Chintamani. And somebody who wants pure, unalloyed love for Krishna, the name can bestow that also. The name is without beginning and fully spiritual, being identical to Krishna. See, please note, name is identical to Krishna. Holy name is a conscious personality. We cannot understand this right now. Is Chaitanya Vigraha. Name is a conscious personality. It's identical to Krishna. See, we cannot actually very much appreciate this because in the material world, the name is dead. If I take somebody's name, the name is not going to respond. The name will not react. The name will not have, we can't have a relationship with the name. We have to have a relationship with the person who is called by a certain name. So, but in this case, the holy name is itself a conscious personality. That is why the holy name bestows mercy. The holy name holds back mercy, which means it is the relationship with the nama now, which is different from the rupa of Krishna. This is what we have to understand. We have to develop attachment to the nama. We are not saying develop attachment to Krishna. We are saying develop attachment to the nama of Krishna. Then automatically there will be attachment to Rupa of Krishna, Guna of Krishna, Leela of Krishna, Parikara of Krishna, everything. But we have to first develop attachment to the Nama because Nama itself is a conscious personality. So you can pray to the holy name. Oh, holy name, please bestow your mercy. That's what we are doing. And it is Nitya Mukta. It is eternally free from material imperfection. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. It's full of rasa. Nitya Mukta. Uh, and completely free from material modes of passion and ignorance. It is Shuddha Sattva, so Nitya Mukta. Name of Krishna and who is denoted by the holy name, Nami, are thus identical. So Nama and Nami. Nama is Krishna. Nami is the person Krishna. They are identical. Abhinatvam Nama Namino. So Nama is Chintamani. It can yield any kind of desires. It can fulfill any kind of desires. Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. It is a Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. It is a conscious entity full of rasa, full of emotions, feelings. Rasa means mellow, exchange. Chaitanya is Purna Shuddho. It is Shuddha Sattva. Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto. Fully, eternally free from material imperfect. Abhinnatvam Nama Namino. Nama and Nami are Abhinna. This name descends into the material world in its pure spiritual form and being identical to the sweetness of Krishna. It is the means by which the devotee can relish Krishna's sweetness. So that is why it is Rasa Vigraha. So the Nama is identical to the sweetness of Krishna. Like the Nama is not different from the Nami. The sweetness, the Nama is also identical to the sweetness of Krishna. It is the means by which the devotee can relish Krishna's sweetness. So in Kali Yuga, this is the way, this is the means. By the name, we can experience the sweetness of Krishna. Krishna is the absolute truth and is known by four attributes: Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. Actually, all objects are known by these four attributes. Any object you take, not just Krishna, right? Without these four attributes, an object cannot be considered to be real, right? A person, his name, he has a form, his qualities, he has activities. So just like that, Krishna also has name, form, qualities, and activities. Krishna is the supreme truth, the eternal fountainhead of all enjoyment. Is the rasa of all enjoyment is rasa. He is also known by these four attributes. They exist in eternity, unaffected by the material world, through the agency of the Lord's Sandhini Shakti. So the Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, all of them exist through the agency of Lord's energy of existence, which is called Sandhini Shakti. And they're eternally present. So the Lord has Nama, he has Rupa, Guna, and Leela. But the Nama is not different from The person Krishna. The form is not different from the person Krishna. The qualities are not different from person Krishna. And the activities are not different from person Krishna, which means if you associate with Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, we are directly associating with Krishna. But the beauty about the Nama is the Nama will reveal the Rupa, Guna, Leela. This will be discussed later. So the Nama is like the key. Suppose say somebody has attraction to the Rupa of Krishna, but still through that attraction of the Krishna, Rupa of Krishna, they will develop attraction to the Nama, because it's only through Nama that the spiritual form is revealed. Right now, our attraction to the form of Krishna is, but it's we are attracted to the form that we see in this the Archa Vigraha, that form that Krishna has accepted. But if you have to, if the real form of Krishna, as in the spiritual Chaitanya form of Krishna, as in like moving Krishna, has to be seen, then that gets revealed only through Nama. Archa Vigraha is an incarnation. Krishna has accepted the Archa Vigraha as a form in which he manifests himself. But the actual original Shamasundara Krishna, who is there in Goloka, he can be seen, his form can be seen by our eyes only when we take shelter of Nama. So that is why when we are chanting Hare Krishna, we might just take shelter of the Rupa of Krishna just to bring our attention back to the Nama. But the central process is Nama. Because Nama is only going to really reveal these other things. And it's a matter of revelation. अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि न भवेत् ग्राह्यम इंद्रियैः सेवन्मुखैः जीवादौ स्वयमेव स्फुरत्यदा. Spurati. Spurati means it's about revelation. Swayameva. Krishna himself reveals. But it is Atha Sri Krishna Namadi. Starting with the name. Everything else will make it favorable for us to finally develop a taste attachment to Nama. Finally, it is the Nama. Okay, so I'll stop here. Yeah, every paragraph, every line is important. So I'll stop here. If there are any questions, comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Nandad Pranam, Prabhu.
Pranam, Prabhu.
Yeah, so Prabhu, I mean, this is the first time that I'm hearing, that the holy name is a personality by itself, within itself, and then, with full of all the transcendental qualities. I mean, I've not heard this. At least when I chant, I was like always, yeah, this is name. Now, where is the form? So for the form, I look towards like Radha Madan Mohan, or so the deities of the temples, I mean, that we see in the temples and all. But yeah, thanks for
Now, please understand, his
preaching us.
name is
Yeah,
a personality. Name is a personality.
yeah,
Don't think about name as a form. Okay, so there's a difference.
okay,
Name is a
yes,
personality. So there is an exchange of emotion, feeling, rasa, which can happen with this nama. Okay, it's not a form. It's a personality. Personality is more than a form. Right?
okay,
Think about, so just see, that's why I said this is a matter of realization. We cannot completely understand, but we should just understand that it is not different from Krishna. It is spiritual, and it is a Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. It is like active, conscious. Yeah, it's a conscious entity. Think about it like this for now. It's a conscious personality is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, right? So personality means what all
mhm,
attributes that personality has. It can have all attributes, right? But we should think about it as a conscious personality. The Rupa of Krishna is different from the Nama of Krishna. The Rupa of Krishna is that form that we are seeing when we look at a deity, like I said. That is the Rupa of Krishna. But this is the Nama of Krishna. But the Rupa of Krishna is also a spiritual, the Nama of Krishna is also spiritual, and all of them are equally conscious as Krishna, because they're not different from Krishna. So the
okay,
point
okay,
being made here is that we don't have to think that only if I see the Lord form that is spiritual, as in, or that is better. then simply taking the name of Krishna, simply just now I said Krishna. This is not different from Krishna,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that Nama has all the conscious spiritual attributes of Krishna. It has opulence, it has strength, everything. All characteristics of Krishna are present in the Nama. That is why it's not different. That's why the Nama, so Krishna says that Nam Nam Akari Bhuda Nija Sarva Shakti. I also bestowed all my energy, strength, powers in my Nama. Okay, so don't think about it as a form right now. Just think about it as non-different from Krishna.
Okay.
Nama
Like
is
kind
not different from Krishna.
representation. Okay. Your personality representing
Yeah, personality.
directly Krishna.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
So, Prabhu,
it's
a
like a
follow-up question. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Go
just
ahead, Prabhu.
one more point. Just you can think about it like, see, when I say when I call Vinod Prabhu, now I can that Vinod, me taking the name Vinod is useless if Vinod Prabhu is not in front of me, right?
Right. Yeah, that
But
is
the
the fact of
name,
material world. The name and the
yeah.
person
So
is
here the
different.
name and the person are same. That's
Right.
what we have to understand. Okay. Yeah, you had a follow-up question.
Yeah, Prabhu. So in one lecture, Srila Prabhupada was mentioning, okay, so this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is like, he was relating it to this example of material world where we're dialing a phone, a number, okay, and then and then once the other person lifts up, right? So you talk, you interact with him. So similarly, Prabhupada was giving this example. Yeah, you're chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then like Krishna is immediately, yes, what do you want? So, I mean, is that
Yeah,
like, I mean, because we need to concentrate on the hearing,
yeah.
but we should not be thinking of, yes, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I'm just confused now. I mean, what is that? Shall I hear or shall I respond to
No,
Krishna
no.
or how
Here,
does
here, here. No,
here? Okay.
see, how will you even know that Krishna told, saying, yes, okay, what do you want if you don't hear? And when you
Yes.
hear, then again, what will you do? You'll again chant the name, chant the Mahamantra, which means, okay, Krishna is asking, okay, what do you want? Then I'm again answering, Krishna, I want your eternal service, right?
Okay.
But for me to
Yes.
respond, I should have heard him.
Correct.
I mean,
Because
okay, yeah,
we
Prabhupada is
call,
trying
it's
to,
like, I mean, I see my example is like, yeah, we call, we dial the phone, and then we look here and there.
hmm.
That is, I mean, like we're trying to
Not you,
get to that
everybody, all
attention.
of us are there. All of us are there. That's okay. But see, these, like I was discussing yesterday, right? See, just as long as we're not doing Vaishnava Aparad, just by continual chanting of the holy names, all of these things will become manifest in front of us. It will get revealed. So we don't have to worry about it today. Whether we understand, not understand, doesn't matter. All we have to understand is that I have to just remain fixed to this process and it will take me to the goal.
Yes,
This
Prabhu.
is the sadhya. This is the sadhana, this is the process, and the sadhya or the goal is Krishna. And the sadhana, the chanting of the holy name, will take me to Krishna. As long as I am not, inimical towards Krishna's devotees. That is the key. That's all. Yeah, Prabha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
that the nature of this Harinam Prabhu,
Hmm.
is this like Lord Krishna himself or Radharani? Any, like, how do we?
Name is not different from Krishna. If you take Krishna, it's referring to Krishna. If you take Radha, it's referring to Radha.
Hmm.
Name is not different from the person, just it's simple to understand. Like, we just say Krishna means it's Krishna. Why do we have to interpret it as Radha or somebody else? It's
But
Krishna's name, so it's Krishna.
but in the paragraph which we were reading today, it was mentioned that name himself is a personality, and that is different from the Christian.
No, no, non-different. Non-different. Abhinnatvam nama namino.
Hmm.
Nama and nami are non-different. Not different.
Hmm. Hmm.
They're not different. It is See, it is okay. Krishna is a person. Now, how do I, like, yeah, Prabha Prabhu. Okay, Prabha Prabhu is a person. Now, how do I call Prabha Prabhu? I have to call his name. I can't
Hmm.
say something else, right? I can't say, hey, a person with specs or something like that, right? So there is a name and the name has to be used and the name refers to that person. The
Hmm.
difference here is that this name is refers to the person also, but is also non-different from the person. That
Hmm.
is that little thing that we can't understand. How it is non-different from Krishna, we cannot understand. But Krishna is saying, I've invested all my strength in my Nama. So it's not different from me. One way by which we can understand. The other way is that because it is spiritual, it's not different. Because this is also spiritual, that's also spiritual. Krishna's full form is spiritual. One aspect of Krishna's spirituality is his name, which is also spiritual.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Rohini Mantri.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
So if Krishna name and Krishna are the same, then why are we calling Harinam?
Why are we calling?
Harinam. Harinam Prabhu, like, they're saying.
Harinam. I mean, Hari is also another name for Krishna. So it's Harinam. Krishna Nam. Like
Okay.
Hari
I
and
mean,
Krishna.
separately, are we calling Harinam Prabhu like that? So
No, I mean, that's just, I mean, I don't know about that practice. I see a lot of devotees calling Harinam Prabhu. But simply we can understand that Nama is not different from Krishna. So if Krishna is a Prabhu, Nama can also be called Prabhu.
okay, like that.
But see, we should
Okay.
understand that it's a conscious personality. It's a conscious personality. There's no description about what is the form or it's just not different from Krishna.
Okay.
Right? Nama itself is a conscious entity. Rupa itself is a conscious entity.
Right.
Right?
So
Everything is conscious.
So when we say Nam Namakari Bauddha Nija Salva Shakti, so that do we understand that every name has a personality, I mean, it has full potential within its own. I mean, is
Yeah,
that what
yeah. All the
it means?
spiritual names, for example, Vishnu means it has all the potencies of Vishnu. Krishna means all the potencies of Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu.
That is why we have to, when we chanting the name of Krishna, we have to understand that it's not different from Krishna. So if you have called Krishna with love and affection, Krishna immediately reciprocates. And Krishna is present there. So we cannot be inattentive. That is why inattentive chanting is offensive. Now, see, though it is also finally in our list of aparadhas it says it's also offensive to be inattentive. But it's not listed as in the first 10 aparadhas have to go first. Before we can even understand or appreciate, saying that, oh, I'm calling Krishna's name and Krishna's name is not different from Krishna. So when I call Krishna's name, how can I be inattentive towards him? So it's a natural mood that sets in over years of chanting, that how can I be inattentive when I am with Krishna? Because I am with Krishna. When I take the name Krishna, I am with Krishna. How can I be inattentive when I am with Krishna? That has to be our mood. How can I be inattentive when I am with Krishna? Remember this statement. I can also say all these things, but when I chant, I know where my mind goes. But at least is understanding that, yeah, is what it is. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Shashank Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, when the process is fixed, like down the line, you said that we can see moving Krishna.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
means
Prema, that is Prema stage.
so really means in live Krishna will move in
Yeah,
like
yeah, live,
full.
live. We'll see Goloka. We'll see Krishna's activities in Goloka. We'll see Vrindavan. We will smell Krishna's bodily fragrance. We will experience the touch of Krishna's hands. All this is stage of Krishna Prema.
Okay, so full in the process, like full fixed
Full
without
3D experience of Krishna, if you want to define it
okay.
that way. Yeah, live experience of Krishna. Yeah, Sumantra Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, only if you take it like when you're taking the name, it's conscious. Only then you can love him. Only then you can serve him.
Correct.
If
Correct.
you think it's dead, I mean, it becomes like a stone. Then what are you dealing with? Even
Yeah.
in the material world, Prabhu, when you're calling out to your son, you want to shout at him, or you want to love him, or you want to serve him, you give an attention to him. Otherwise, it becomes very casual.
Yeah, yeah, but
I mean,
then
I can be called Sumantra.
yeah, but also the important thing is, say, suppose, say, you called somebody, right? And then something more important came to you.
Yeah, yes, the attention in the material world
Yeah,
shifts.
your attention is
But
diverted.
there
So
you
it's
shouldn't be
not
shifting
just
it.
about, it's not just about that, yeah, thinking that, okay, but also to retain the attention, to understand the importance of this person whose name we are calling, right? What we are doing, we have to be conscious and we should remain conscious, right?
Yes.
Nothing else is more important than this,
Yes.
right? That, unfortunately, and see, the process is very simple. Actually, my realization is the more we are attached to material things will supersede Krishna, right? Because
Yes,
we are
it
more
will.
attached to the material things. So automatically they get prioritized over Krishna, right? And that is why it said that, unless we are able to develop some kind of, either we have to develop attachment to Nama, or we have to develop somehow, fortunately, we should develop some attachment to Nama, or we should develop detachment from matter. Both of which will eventually result in an attachment to Nama only, right? And yeah, if detachment to matter is difficult, but somehow we got attachment to Nama, we are so fortunate. That's good enough. Automatically detachment from matter will happen because there's no comparison. The attachment to Nama and the attachment to material cannot be compared in terms of experience, right? So automatically our attachment to Nama will pull us out. But if we are too attached to material, then our attachment to Nama might not happen at all. Because we are chanting and every time we are getting interrupted. Oh, this material thing is important. Oh, that material thing is important. I have to think about that. I have to solve for this. So then where is time to think about Krishna or call him out consciously? That is why that is the 10th offense. Aham and mama, having still material attachment, will prevent us from actually uh, developing that attachment to Nama. Actually, all these Nama pradas actually prevent us from developing attachment to Nama. Right? Okay. Anything else? Okay. Anyway, there's a lot more to be discussed, so we'll continue tomorrow. Okay. So we'll stop here. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhaktundi ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha. पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.